What is up, everybody? Welcome to yet another edition of Inside Elite Fitness. I'm Sean Woodland. He's Tommy Marquez. It is officially the start of the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games Open. 19.1 just hours away, and we have said it before, this time of year is like CrossFit Christmas, although we've got a little bonus going into CrossFit Christmas.
It's still CrossFit Christmas, Sean, but with all these changes, it kind of feels like we got this mixed faith family. We got some action going on sanction event-wise beforehand, so it's like we had 8 crazy nights of Hanukkah leading up to CrossFit Christmas morning, which is always the start of the Open.
And 2019 is going to get even crazier because we are actually going to have 2 Opens in 2019. We have the one we are about to kick off this evening, and then later in the year, in October, to start the 2020 season, we will have another one. But let's focus on the Open that we are currently in right now. And this year's Open, the stakes are really high, but also this is really the first big domino that needs to fall as far as determining who winds up ultimately getting qualified and then invited to the CrossFit Games.
Even though we've already had some sanctioned events go down and athletes technically earn invites, that doesn't become official until the Open is all wrapped up and said and done, because you have to remember the order with how spots to the games are awarded. National champion qualifying spots are awarded first, then the top 20 men and women who aren't national champions will get their qualifying spot next. Then after that's all said and done, the sanctioned event invites go out, but none of that is set in stone until the Open is wrapped up, and that whole process starts today.
It's going to be an international affair tonight as far as the announcements are concerned. There will be live streams going on in Brazil, in France, and then also in England, and that is being put on by the Strength and Depth crew. They also have a sanctioned event going on this weekend as well, so that's a busy day for a busy weekend for them. And 19.1 is also going to be the first event of Strength and Depth, and we have learned that a former CrossFit Games champion is going to be throwing down in London at 1 a.m. in 19.1.
I mean, what better way for them to start it off? You have an Open announcement taking place in London in the UK, and the athletes you have shown up to throw down are UK's finest. That starts with the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games champion, Sam Briggs, who's just an animal, by the way. Doesn't matter the time of day, she's going to show up and throw down. But then you have 2 more of UK's finest alongside of her. Stephen Fawcett, along with Phil Hesketh, the first 2 British men to qualify as an individual in the Open era. And then you have another Games podium athlete in Kelly Friel, who last year was 2nd fittest woman in the 40 to 44 division at the CrossFit Games. Got a silver medal around her neck. A great trio of athletes to throw down to start the season.
Yeah, and Sam Briggs, obviously the marquee name there. She has already won 2 of the sanctioned events. She has guaranteed herself an invite to the CrossFit Games this year, and we spoke to Sam Briggs earlier this week, and I asked her, what is your approach to the Open now? Everyone has to do the Open because it matters, seating matters. How is the fact that you're already guaranteed a spot, so how does that change or affect the way that you're going to approach the Open?
I don't think anything changes really with how I approach the Open. I've always enjoyed the Open, and I'll be still trying to be the fittest in the UK, regardless of already having a qualifying spot.
Let's talk about what 19.1 might actually be, and we get into this in depth in the latest edition of our podcast, Talking Elite Fitness. Be sure to subscribe to that on Apple Podcasts or on Google Play. But there have been some interesting little breadcrumbs that have been trickled throughout the main site over the past few weeks.
Yeah, I was chopping it up with our friend and fellow analyst Chase Ingram about some of the clues that are typically left in .com programming leading up to the Open that eventually show up in the Open programming. Now, this year there's a pretty big obvious clue in terms of Cindy showing up and variations of Cindy showing up 8 times since the start of the new year. So that being said, if it follows that trend and some of the reshifts in focus for CrossFit, I think this first week of the Open should be something that's a little bit more accessible, a little bit more inclusive in terms of body weight movements, with just enough there for the elite athletes to chew on and separate themselves in the name of maybe a longer workout or something that has some ascending reps or load.
We'll be covering the Open from here inside our studio, and the Buttery Bros, our friends Marston Sawyers and Heber Cannon, are on the ground there in London. They will be covering the 19.1 announcement as well as the Strength in Depth sanctioned event. And a lot of people have asked us this year, are there going to be Road to the Games episodes? Will there be a documentary? Well, Marston and Heber are working on their own series this year where they do follow out athletes throughout the season. Here's a quick sneak peek at what you can expect to see from them.
All right, yeah, that's what you're gonna get. 30 grand for first place in that workout. That's silly. Guess who's blacking out? This guy.
I don't want to just go out and win. I want to go out and dominate.
That racer will go 4 for 4 on Sunday.
I was in full blackout mode. I'm like, what the f is happening?
Tia Claire wins. Wow! Milner will stand it up. That was the competition right there.
Let's just say that 2019 is going to be my best year yet.
Be sure you subscribe to the Buttery Bros YouTube channel and you won't miss any of the great content that they are currently putting out. The last woman we saw in that video was Sarah Sigmundsdottir. She is someone we have seen compete twice so far in the sanctioned events, finished third both times, and she will be competing this weekend at Strength and Depth. And she has a really good shot of qualifying for the CrossFit Games in the Open as well. But there are a couple athletes who, given what we have seen take place so far through the first 4 sanctioned events, who have kind of put themselves behind the 8 ball a little bit as they head into the Open, and they need a big 5 weeks.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit more in our podcast when we recapped the Cape Town event in depth. But specifically, 2 athletes kind of stand out in terms of needing a really strong performance in the Open, and that's Alessandra Pacelli and Cole Sager. We'll start with Pacelli. She's an athlete who has finished in the top 20 worldwide, but it's been almost half a decade since she's done that. So she really needs a strong performance to kind of replicate that process with the emphasis on the Open. She also has a chance to qualify through the CrossFit Italian Showdown, to earn a sanctioned event invite. There's a little bit of a question in terms of nationality, though. I saw that she had the Italian flag next to her name on some of the leaderboards, so she could have a chance at winning the national championship for Italy if she has citizenship in that country. For Cole, things are a little bit more murky because he hasn't finished in the top 20 worldwide in his career. So he would need a career best finish in the Open to get one of those top 20 spots. I think the national championship is out of reach for him in the United States, given some of the other athletes at play here. He's going to go to Rogue Invitational. That's a good opportunity for him, but I think the Open really could set the tone for him the rest of the way.
It is going to be an exciting 5 weeks, and we will be with you throughout every Open announcement. We will preview it and recap it, and we will also be keeping an eye on all of the sanctioned events that are going on in the coming weeks and months. That's going to do it for us. Be sure to share this video with your friends. Let everybody know that we are back. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inside Elite Fitness. Subscribe to our podcast, Talking Elite Fitness. You can find that on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. We get a lot more in depth in some of the subjects there. And also go and subscribe to the Buttery Bros channel on YouTube, and you will be covered from every angle. That is it for us. He's Tommy. I'm Sean. The Open starts now. Good luck with 19.1.